Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk right here on OG Sports TV. Today we're talking about Carson Wentz and how the Philadelphia Eagles completely mismanaged his situation from the day that they drafted him to the day that they traded him to the Indianapolis Colts. Shout out to all my OGs out there. Let's get right into it. All right. The whole point of this video is to detail why the Eagles will regret burning the bridge with Carson Wentz. Now, I want to be clear. Trading him in the moment now was the right thing to do, because you are in such a tight spot if you keep him, because with the emergence of Jalen Hurts last year and all the drama with Carson Wentz now, that if you kept him on the roster this coming football season, there would be so much drama. It would always be in the media. Who's going to start Wentz? If Hurts has a bad game, we'll bring Wentz back in. If Wentz has a bad game, bring Hurts back in. Trading him now was the right thing to do. The problem that I'm talking about is everything leading up to now. They completely handled this the wrong way. They completely mismanaged Wentz, and it's terrible because Wentz was the face of your franchise. So they draft him in 2016. They draft him first overall, I believe it was, or second behind Jared Goff. I forget which one it was. But they draft him in 2016. 2017 as an MVP caliber year. He gets hurt, right? And then they go on and win the Super Bowl with Nick Foles as legend. But it's like, man, Carson Wentz, he didn't really win this Super Bowl. And we're still not sure. 2018, he comes in, he's not as good, but he's still fine. He's a top 10 quarterback. But you can tell they declined a little bit after Frank Reich leaves to become the head coach of the Colts. In 2019, June 6, 2019, they extend him. Huge contract. Huge. And this is saying, hey, you're our guy. You're the face of our franchise. You're going to lead us back to the promised land that we just got to, even though you were hurt when we got there. That's great. You have to stick with that. 2019, the season, 2019 season, right after he gets his extension, he has a really bad year. The Eagles are just crushed with injuries. The wide receivers are all hurt. The offensive line is all hurt. He's throwing to freaking Greg Ward. Like, that's his most reliable target at times. And it's like, man, he had a tough year, but that's your guy. You don't bail on your guy after one bad year. Look at Eli Manning and the Giants. Eli Manning, it's a debate, but he's in the Hall of Fame conversation at least. And he led the league in interception 3 different times. 3 different times Eli Manning, potential Hall of Famer, led the league in interceptions. But the Giants never cut bait. The Giants never drafted a rookie in the second round. So, and that's the point. Going into after the 2019 season, in April of 2020, the Eagles draft Jalen Hurts in the second round. And as soon as that happens, everyone's like, whoa, what does that mean for Carson Wentz? Is Jalen Hurts, why do they draft a guy so high? It's like the Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love situation almost. Why do they draft a guy so high if this is their guy? Like, Wentz, they just extended him a year ago. And 2020 rolls around. The Eagles are one of the most hurt teams in the NFL again. And then Wentz is playing terrible. He's statistically the worst quarterback in the league. And then Hurts comes in, and Hurts gives you a spark. Hurts can play. He can run. He can make accurate passes on the run. He can do all these things. And that's not to say that Wentz can't do these things. They're different style type of quarterbacks. And it's drafting Jalen Hurts in 2020 was the end for Carson Wentz in Philadelphia, because they essentially quit on him. Even though he went into the year as the starting quarterback, they quit on him after 1 year. 1 year after they gave him this huge contract, they quit on him. And I just think it's just an incredible oversight by the Eagles that think they cut bait too quickly. If this is your guy, you have to support him after a bad year. You have to reload, and you have to make sure, you have to think, oh man, well, he didn't have an offensive line. He didn't have any wide receivers. The defense was not good. Like, you have to think, there's just no one on this team healthy that is helping him right now. So, like, how can you expect him to do anything? But clearly the Eagles and I think differently. And this is crazy. This coming season, 2021, they're taking a $34 million in dead cap for Carson Wentz not being on the roster, which is the largest dead cap number in NFL history. They're paying him to leave, essentially, because he no longer wants to be there, because they quit on him. They quit on the face of their franchise after 1 year. It's absolutely crazy, and it's a terrible look for the Eagles organization and for the GM Howie Roseman. Think about it. former Eagles offensive coordinator Frank Reich is the head coach in Indianapolis, and that was the last year that Frank Reich was the OC in the Eagles. Was the last year that Wentz was great. So, and it was the year that they won the Super Bowl. So think about it. If Wentz goes, he's going to Indianapolis and he's going to be their starter. If Wentz goes there and balls out, that's a terrible look for the Eagles. Even though now trading him was the right thing to do, it's still a terrible look that they went and they cut bait on him so quickly a few years ago. And it's like, man, you cut bait with the Eagles. You let Frank Reich go, even though like he's going to be a head coach. Like that's probably the right thing to do. You let Doug Peterson go. Eventually, like and during the season, I thought either Wentz or Peterson go. I didn't think that they would both go, but they let go of them both, which is crazy to me. And sure, like if Wentz balls out and any makes the playoffs, that conditional second that they got will turn into a first. But it won't be a good first because Indianapolis will be in the playoffs. And even if it is a first, the Colts have their franchise guy now. And you might not. You don't know what you're going to get out of Hurts yet. If he's only played a few games, it's like the Drew Lock situation. The Denver committed to him after a few games, and he's not that good. Like, what if that's the same thing with Hurts? It's still to be determined. So, I don't know. I just think that the Eagles completely mismanaged this. And the craziest thing about it all is that this is almost a risk-free move by the Colts. It's virtually risk-free because in the contract after the 2021 season, they have an out. So if Wentz comes in and he's bad, then they can cut bait with him after the year, no harm done. And they don't even have to give up a first because if he's bad, they won't play him 70% of the time. So it's a risk-free move. This is essentially a free shot for the Colts at a potential franchise quarterback who is taken at the top of the NFL draft. Like, this is a home run trade by the Colts, by general manager Chris Ballard, even if it doesn't work out. Imagine getting a franchise quarterback, someone good enough to play an MVP level with a guy that you have in your building for a second round, for what was it, a 2021 third and a 2022 conditional second. That's a steal. And you already have the roster. You're a quarterback away from contending. So if Wentz comes in and is really good, you might win a Super Bowl. It's absolutely crazy. The Colts committed highway robbery, and the best part about it is that the Eagles had to do it. And that was probably the best trade that they could have gotten. There's reports out there that the Bears offered more, but there's no proof to that, so it is what it is. But anyway, home run by the Colts. The Eagles really messed this up. For their sake, I hope Jalen Hurts is the guy. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments, do you agree, do you disagree that the Eagles completely mismanaged this Carson Wentz situation? Like if you like, subscribe if you're new. Shout out to all my OGs out there. Remember, be kind to someone today. That's real talk.